what if the next great real estate boom isn't on land, but 200 meters below the waves? Previously, we discussed making habitat on the moon, but what if we made it underwater? As we move into 2026, the narrative of saving the planet has taken a radical vertical turn. For decades, the underwater city was a beautiful piece of science fiction concept art, a dome at the bottom of the sea where people lived in permanent darkness, usually waiting for a hero to save them from a leak. But today, the ocean is no longer a barrier. It is the new frontier. Last month, an ocean engineering firm, Deep, unveiled the Vanguard, the first module of the Sentinel System. This isn't a temporary research pod or a glorified diving bell. It is the beginning of a global network of Sentinel stations designed to let humans live, work, and sleep on the continental shelf for months at a time. We are currently in a high-stakes race to occupy Mir. While the billionaires of 2010s were obsessed with leaving Earth, the visionaries of the modern world are realizing that 70% of it is unoccupied, unmapped, and filled with resources we need to save the surface. We aren't just visiting the deep, we are moving in. But you can't just drop a house into the abyss. To survive the weight of the world, we have to stop being land dwellers and start being Aquans. Today, we're looking at the technologies turning the blue void into our second home. From 3D printed super alloys to breathing systems that make the pressure your friend, not your enemy. Hey everyone, welcome back to the South Era Network. This is Tech Talk with Hasnan. Let's look at the infrastructure of the abyss. First, we'll talk about the Sentinel System, engineering against the weight. If you want to build a city on Earth, you fight the wind. On the moon, you fight the vacuum. But underwater, you fight the weight. At the depths, we are targeting the 200-meter line of the continental shelf. The pressure is roughly 20 times what it is at sea level. Imagine a car being balanced on every square inch of your body. That is what the pressure is at that depth. Traditional construction methods like concrete or standard steel would eventually crumble or corrode under the relentless physical wall of the ocean. This year, the Deep Sentinel System has solved this using a combination of wire arc additive manufacturing, or VAM, and aerospace materials. First is the Dragon scale cladding. The Sentinel modules aren't just steel, they are clad in Inconel. This is a nickel chromium super alloy usually found in the combustion chambers of SpaceX Raptor engines. In space, it resists heat. In the ocean, it is virtually immune to the corrosive bite of salt water. Moving on, instead of welding plates together, which creates stress points where leaks can start, we are printing 3D habitats with a single continuous structure. It's like a giant metallic egg. An egg is the strongest shape in nature because it distributes pressure across evenly by its entire surface. By technically printing these metallic eggs, Deep has created a habitat that doesn't just resist the ocean, it embraces it. The modularity is the real 2026 factor. We've moved away from the bespoke habitat. The Sentinel is a Lego set for Seafloor. You can snap together living quarters, research labs, and communal dining halls. As of March this year, the first 6-person crew is preparing for their 28-day deployment in the UK. They aren't going to be cramped in a submarine. They have individual suites, high-speed satellite links, and enough space to actually live. Now, let's talk about the physiology of the Aquan, pressure as a friend. The biggest technical hurdle hasn't been the metal, it's been the meat. Human biology is essentially a bag of water and gas. While water doesn't compress, gas does. In the 20th century, we lived in one atmosphere habitats, thick walled bubbles that kept the ocean pressure out. But that's like trying to live inside a balloon while someone is stepping on it. In 2026, we are pivoting to saturation living. The inhabitants of the Sentinel stations live at the same pressure as the water outside. If they are at 200 meters, their internal body pressure is matched to that depth. This is the magic of 2026 subsea architecture. Because the air pressure inside the habitat is equal to the water pressure outside, you can have a literal hole in the floor. The water doesn't rush in. It just sits there like the surface of a swimming pool. And this is called the moon pool. An Aquan can wake up, have a cup of coffee, and step through the door directly into the ocean to work. No airlocks, no suit-up drama. In 2026, the ocean floor is your backyard. But breathing at that pressure is tricky. At 200 meters, regular air becomes toxic. The oxygen becomes too concentrated and the nitrogen makes you feel drunk. Therefore, we have made these smart rebreathers, and they solve our problem by using AI-controlled gas blenders. They constantly adjust a mix of helium and oxygen, Heliox, based on your biometrics, your heart rate, your blood oxygen level, and even your fatigue. We aren't just scuba diving, we are biologically integrating with the environment. It will be interesting to know how we are going to power the deep, and that is the blue grid. A city without power is just very expensive shipwreck. But today, we have finally cut the umbilical cord to the surface. For decades, underwater labs relied on a cable connected to a ship. If a storm hit, the cable could snap and the lab would die. Today, the Sentinel uses a microgrid architecture that makes it autonomous. First, there is the renewable buoys. On the surface, massive rugged buoys harvest wind and solar energy. This power is sent down a reinforced cable, but it's not the only source. There is OTEC, Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion. This is the holy grail of 2026 energy. In tropical regions, the surface water is 25 degrees Celsius, while the water just a few hundred meters down is 5 degrees Celsius. By using this temperature difference to evaporate and condense a working fluid like ammonia, we can run a turbine that produces electricity 24 hours a day. As of today, the world's first OTEC-based desalination and power plant in Lakshadweep is officially being scaled up. It basically is free energy from the physics of the ocean. And then we also have bioreactors. Waste is a massive problem. You can't just flush a toilet into a pristine coral reef. Although we may have at some point in our life peed in the swimming pool, you can't really just do that in the ocean. It will be catastrophic. But the 2026 solution is a large-scale bioreactor housed in a dedicated module. It uses engineered microbes to break down human waste into clean water and biogas, which is then used to supplement the station's energy. It is a perfect circular economy at the bottom of the sea. Now, let's discuss about the ocean spiral, the trillion-dollar city. While Deep is building workstation, the Shimizu Corporation in Japan is currently moving into the final engineering phase of the ocean spiral. This is the mega project of the century, a $1 trillion conceptual city designed to house 5,000 people. This year, we have seen the first scale model test of the Blue Garden. Imagine a floating sphere 500 meters in diameter made of resin concrete and clad in transparent acrylic triangles. First, there's the living sphere. The top of the sphere sits just above the surface, while the rest is submerged. It contains hotels, apartments, and vertical farms. The spiral below the sphere is a massive 15-kilometer spiral that descends into the Earth's factory on the seabed. This factory uses the extreme pressure of the deep to desalinate water and harvest mineral. But why build this? Well, because Japan is facing the triple threat of 2026: rising sea levels, devastating typhoons, and land scarcity. The ocean spiral isn't just a fancy hotel, it's a survival strategy. Underwater, there are no typhoons, there are no tsunamis, which are only dangerous when they hit a coast. The deep ocean is the most stable environment on Earth. In 2026, the safest place to be during a Category 5 hurricane is 50 meters below the surface. Now, let's discuss about the blue economy, mining and defense. We have to be honest, this isn't just about saving the fish. It's about the $24 trillion blue economy. First, there's green minerals. To build the battery for the 2026 EV revolution, we need cobalt, nickel, and manganese. The Clarion-Clipperton zone in the Pacific is carpeted in polymetallic nodules, which are basically potato-sized rock filled with these minerals. Today, the International Seabed Authority is under massive pressure to grant mining licenses. To mine them responsibly, you need people on the ground, or rather on the seabed, to monitor the environment impact in real time. The ocean floor is covered in critical infrastructure, the fiber optic cables that carry 99% of the world's internet. Today, these cables are targets. Having Sentinel Station along these routes isn't just about science, it's about maritime security. If you can live there, you can protect it too. Companies like Anduril are already deploying Ghost Shark autonomous subs to patrol these habitats. The underwater city is now also a fortress. Now let's imagine we have built the life underwater and we are ready to live in it. But what will it actually be like to live there? In 2026, Aquan culture is a real thing. First, because everything is blue and dark, the Sentinel modules use full spectrum bio lighting. It mimics the sunrise and sunset of Earth to keep your circadian rhythm in check. There are also acrylic technologies that allow for massive floor-to-ceiling windows that can withstand the pressure. Imagine eating dinner while a pod of whale passes through by, or sitting in your bedroom late at night while watching the bioluminescent fireworks of the deep sea jellyfish. It all sounds good, right? But there will also be psychological shift. People who live subsea for 28 days report a blue shift in their perspective, similar to the overview effect felt by astronauts. You realize that Earth isn't a green planet. It's a water planet, and we are just guests on the dry parts. Today, we have finally stopped looking at the ocean as a surface to cross. We are seeing it as a volume to occupy. For centuries, we've looked up at the stars and dreamed of colonies on Europa or Enceladus, which are basically moons made of ice and water. But today, we're realizing that we have an ocean moon right here on our Earth. The technologies we are building today, the 3D printed Inconel hulls, the OTEC power plants, and the saturation breathing systems are the blueprints for our future. We are moving away from the drowning mindset into an aquatic mindset. We aren't just conquering the ocean, we are finally learning how to belong to it. In the 20th century, we mined the earth to build our cities. In the modern world, we are learning to build with the earth beneath the waves. The blue horizon is no longer a distance. It can be our new home. And that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below, would you like to live underwater? Frankly speaking, for me, I can't even close my eyes while I'm taking a shower, so I wouldn't know how I would feel about living under the water. But do let me know your thoughts. As always, if you liked the video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Also subscribe and press the bell icon so you get to watch more episodes on our channel. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.